Hi, everybody. I'm David. Thank you for joining me for this CyberLink webinar. Today, we're going to be going over editing your best vacation videos in PowerDirector. Before we start, I just want to let you guys know on the right side, you can open up a text chat where you can ask questions and I can answer them live. And my coworker Wilbur will also be online to answer your questions as well. So thank you all for joining us, and let's get started. Today's webinar, we're just going to be talking about vacation videos. If you don't know, we're running a I Love Travel contest right now, which I'll talk about at the end. But a lot of these techniques you can use to create videos for that contest. So today what we're going to be looking at is creating an Express project, stabilizing your Shaky videos, creating a video collage, and also adding titles. So let's just jump right in. So we're going to talk about Express projects first. All right, guys, so this is PowerDirector. I'm guessing most of you have used it before. If you have not, this right here is going to be where all your videos are. This is your media content. Down here, I'm in the timeline mode, so we have a timeline right here. And the first thing we want to do if we're going to use an Express project is come right here to this drop-down menu and click Express Projects. So Express Projects is a really great way to take videos and photos and just combine them really quickly in kind of like a video photo slideshow with some animations and some text, and you can add music to it really easily, and it's a great way to bring a little life to your videos and photos. So we have a lot of templates that you can use, and you can also download more on cyberlink.com. But since we're going to do travel, I'm just going to grab one of the travel style Express projects. So all you have to do with these, it's really easy. It's such an easy way to put everything together is you just grab a project that you like and drag it to the timeline. What happens is it's going to go ahead and populate your timeline, and it's going to add effects, and it's going to add some images, and it's going to add some titles, right? And what you see here is you have these 1, 2, 2, 3. We go over, we're going to have more, 3, 4. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go back to our media content, and all we need to do is just grab, for example, an image, this image right here. We can just drag and drop it to 1. So when you add it to 1, it just automatically adds it to the project, and it adds all the effects and titles over that image. So let's go ahead and add a video to this. So let's use this one right here and drop it to 2. And so sometimes you need to use the same video, right? So we have 2 here as well. So we want to make sure that wherever there's a 2, we add the same video. So 1, there was only 1. 2, there's 2. On 3, we will just add 1 video. So let's just grab this one right here. And on the 4th, I think we just have 1 more as well. So we can just drag here and drop. So as you can see, let me just go back, shrink this down a little bit so you guys can get a good view. Oh, sorry. We can just scroll down, and you can see everything here is just going to be the effects and the titles. So in PowerDirector, whatever is on top is in the very back, right? So if you think of video as in layers, the top video right here will be in the very back, and everything else will be in front of it as you go down. So let's take a look and see what this is like. So it looks pretty good. You have some PIP effects in there, picture in picture. And yeah, it looks good. So one thing I'm missing right now is I think I'd like to add a little bit of music. So we can go back up to right here, the drop down menu that says media content. And with PowerDirector and PowerDirector 365, you get a lot of free background music that's you can totally use. It's royalty free. So if you want to add it to YouTube or wherever, you can. So there's so many options, and all you have to do is just click on one to preview it. So let's just go here and see what this sounds like. Okay. So you can just go through and preview, see what it's like. Let's see what Beautiful Life sounds like. right, I'm just going to use this. So how I do that is I just go to download right here and I click on it and it's going to download instantly to your computer. So these files aren't just sitting on your computer, right? So that's kind of nice. But whenever you want one, you can just go download it and then just come here, click on it and drag it down to your music track. So now I also will want to quickly just bring it back, right? I'm going to go ahead and drag this back. So I just go to the edge, left click and drag it back to align it with my project. Oh, zoom in just a little bit. Actually, I'll just go to the end of this and I can just split it here and then delete my track. Okay, so now we'll have music lined up with our Okay, great. So that's how you work with Express projects. So let's just go back real quick to the Express projects. You can also just go ahead and, if you want to like look at one before, you don't have to drag it to your timeline. You can just click on it and go ahead and watch it directly in the preview window right here. So, and you can also add to each other, right? So like we have a lot of like, this is like a middle one to this. So you could just drag it down and add to it, right? So now you can make it even longer. So if you have a lot of photos and videos, you can just go ahead and add multiple. You can create like a nice little minute to 2 minute projects, or you can just keep it short with just one of them. Okay, great. So let's go back. And thanks. Who do we have here? Mario in California, Peter in New York, and Clay in Atlanta. Thank you guys for joining us. So yeah, that's Express projects. So the next thing I want to look at, which I think we all have had to deal with, is shaky footage. So I'll show you two examples of this. One will be like with a motorboat, and the other will be kind of a handheld on a beach, right? So like when you're doing action sports, sometimes you get shaky footage, and other times when you're just hand holding your phone or your camera, it's going to be shaky. And sometimes you want to make it not so shaky, right? Because sometimes it's hard to look at; it might hurt your eyes. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let me open up that project. And if you're just joining us, also look onto the right of your screen. Just want to show you guys this again. So if you're just joining us, please feel free to ask questions, which is right here, and also just say hi. So let's go ahead and jump into PowerDirector again. All right, so first thing I want to look at is some shaky footage from a boat, right? It's in a motorboat, and it's just a little shaky here. So we're going to smooth this out really quick. So yeah, you can see it's shaking. So all we want to do is drag our clip to the timeline, select our clip. We're going to go to fix and enhance. This is a really great way of getting your videos to look better quick. And all these tools are pretty simple. So what we want to do is just go to video stabilization. And right here, this is it. So our video is actually already stabilized a little bit, right? So it already looks a little bit smoother. So what we can actually do is just drag back and forth. And this is going to tell us the amount of motion, the motion level that's happening. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it all the way up and just see what it looks like. So that actually looks pretty good. That's very stabilized. I mean, it looks like it's completely smooth. You can also use this right here, which is use an enhanced stabilizer. So if it's not stabilizing enough, I would just recommend going and clicking this here. But since this is already working, I don't think I want to use that. But so for extremely shaky, this is a good tool to use. Just go ahead and click right here. You can unclick it to unapply it. All right. So let's go ahead and delete this off our timeline. And let's add another clip. So we have this clip right here. And I'm going to, again, just go to video. Oh, I'll show you to you real quick, right? So this is handheld. So you can see it kind of bouncing and it's not quite smooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just do video stabilization again, see what this looks like. That looks pretty good. But you see down here, because this video isn't quite filling my, like if you see, just let me stop it. There's a little black on the top and bottom of this. So I probably want to, because now that it's stabilized, it's actually moving the footage to stabilize it. What I'm going to do is go over to my power tools real quick and just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Now we're zoomed in, and then we'll just stabilize it again. So you can go back and forth between the tools. So then we'll go ahead and video stabilize. There we go. So now we're zoomed in and we're way more stabilized. All right, so just want to show you guys something as well, real quick. So once I've done changes to this, what I'm going to do next is use the video collage tool. But before I do that, I want to actually add this clip right here to my media content. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to produce it very quickly, and it will go ahead and add it directly to my media content. So if you guys use PowerDirector before, you know you can just come up and click on produce. And then MP4, that looks good. So I'll just go ahead and produce it. Take a couple seconds. Yeah, it's so quick. That's one thing I really like about PowerDirector is how quick you can just render things out. So now we'll go back to edit. And as you can see, the clip was added directly right here. Okay, great. So let's go back. So that was looking at stabilizing shaky footage. See what you guys are saying here. Okay, so now we'll go to video collage. We're going to actually look at creating a video collage now from this footage. So we'll go back to presenting the desktop. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this from the timeline, and I'm going to go up here to plugins. What we're going to look at is the Video Collage Designer. It's a really great way of creating split screens and animated split screens. So right here, these are all your choices on your layouts. And I'm just going to create a kind of simple one, just 4, but we get pretty complicated all the way up to 8 videos. So you can have 8 videos all in a split screen video collage. So I'm going to click right here, select my video collage, and click OK. And I love this. All you have to do, the only thing you have to do is just drag and drop your footage. That's it. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this right here. It's going to automatically add it. And then I can actually just move it around. So just left click and drag it around. And if I use the scroll wheel on the mouse or like on a laptop, if I just use the pinching effect, I can zoom in and out on this image. So I can get exactly where I want it. So let's go ahead and add a couple more videos to this. Let's maybe put this up here. And then let's put this maybe down here. And put this over here. Great. So another thing I might want to do is actually come in here, and what I can do is I can actually edit these clips. I can actually cut down to be the exact length that I want. So maybe I don't want this so long. Maybe bring it back at the end. So maybe something like this. So I want to actually make it a little shorter, right? So just using the marks, I can mark in and mark out when I click OK. Okay. So I just want to see what this looks like now. So as you can see, it animates in the beginning for you. Okay, great. So another thing is we have borders and colors and everything, so you can actually change the border sizes. You can change the inner clip size. So you have a lot of control of these. You can change the color. One thing I want to show you is I want to actually go down here to advanced settings. So this is where you control how your animation works, how long it is and everything. And I like just setting everything to the shortest clip. So what's going to happen is the split screen will only run as long as the shortest clip. So that way, because if it keeps going past the shortest clip, everything kind of freeze frames. So if you like that, that works. But for me, I just like to see just the video. So I always like to come in here and change it to the shortest clip. Okay. So if I go ahead and click OK, it's going to go ahead and add it to my timeline. So now I have a great little video collage. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and add some titles to it. So we'll just go back. So we just went over video collage. Now we're going to look at adding titles with Title Designer. So if you've never used Title Designer before, it's a really great tool to like create titles and motion titles. So we'll go back to this. So right here, this is going to be our title room. We have a lot of great choices for you. If you have PowerDirector 365, you're going to have all of these, and we have updates all the time. Once a month, we usually release creative content, so you'll always be getting new titles. So let's go ahead and look, since I'm doing travel, see if there's something good I can have. And again, it's just like all the other effects and everything. If you just click on it, it's going to show you a preview. So I like this one right here. It's just simple, goes really well with our video collage, especially with the animated opening. So I'll just go ahead and drag this down here to the timeline and then make it fit with it. And then double click it. And it's going to go ahead and open it up. Just so I can because I kind of want to do a little to the text, right? Because right here you can't quite see it very well because the white on white. So there's a lot of already set choices that you can use, right? But what I'm going to do, and also you just have so much control with this, right? So we can add shadows, we can add font face, we can add a border, we can even add a backdrop if we want. I don't want to do that for this. So what I'm going to do is, I don't really like the font face. All right, maybe I do. Probably just take off the border. And then change the color to white again. So all I really want is I want the white still, but I just want it to pop a little bit. And then I can actually control my shadow. So it kind of creates just a little nice title. So let's take a look at that. So there we go. We just added a title to our video. If I hit OK, it just goes right here. So let's take a look at what we would have. Okay, great. So are there any questions? Let's see. Best format. So that's really going to depend on what you're going to use the video for. My personal favorite when PowerDirector, here, let me just go back. So my personal favorite is H.264. It's just a smaller file size, right? So like image sequence, right? You probably don't want to use that because what that does is it creates a lot of individual images. So like a lot of JPEGs. And then H.265 is a good format. But it's not. I just like H.264. I've been using it for years. If you're a Windows person, maybe you want to use Windows Media Video, but you can't quite. I mean, again, it's just what you're going to use it for. So whenever I do like YouTube or things like that, I always use H.264. AVI and MPEG 2, they're good, but they're a little older. They're going to be a little bit bigger. But it also MPEG 2 will be good for like DVD. So really, it depends on what you're using it for. If I was gonna say my go-to for Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I always just do H.264. I always do. I try to get it as high as I can. Like for most sites, HD is going to be good enough. But if you really want the best quality, you're going to go with 4K, obviously. But since a lot of people don't have 4K these days, I think a lot of times just the HD is good enough. Hope that answers your question. Anything else? All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Really appreciate it. And then I think we'll be having another webinar coming up because we'll have a photo contest in August. So I hope you guys join us again, and I hope you have a wonderful night or a wonderful day wherever you are. Thank you so much.